Welcome to the Mind Matters Show. I'm Dr. Craig Pohlman, and my guest is friend and colleague Dr. Nyaka NiiLampti, one of the driving forces behind Mind Over Body, a sports performance program here at Southeast Psych. And this is the second of two conversations we're having about Title IX, really important legislation that goes back to 1972. Just to recap, Title IX prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex for all educational programs or activities funded by the federal government. It doesn't mention sports or athletics, but that is the platform from which it's really changed society.
Mm-hmm. It's changed it in a lot of ways. It's changed it certainly in access to higher education in general. But before Title IX, girls were, the idea of athletic scholarships for females were almost non-existent. Right. So they were playing sports, but they weren't, they didn't have locker rooms. So the guys would shower, but the girls couldn't, or they would not have the funding to go to competitions. So, it's really made a lot of strides in that area, but in higher education in general.
Right. So let's drop some knowledge here. So there's been some good news, but some not so good news. Mm-hmm. A 2005 study showed that at NCAA schools, women are 55% of the student body, mm-hmm. but make up only 45% of the athletic population. So it's come up a lot since 1972, but we're nowhere near 50-50.
No, and there's actually, interestingly, in the last few years, there's been a lot of efforts to try to reverse some aspects of Title IX. I think now people are saying, well, are we leaving the boys at the wayside? And are there some changes that we need to make? But if we look at the numbers, we're still nowhere near parity, which is what the goal of Title IX was initially, if we think about creating a balanced or playing field.
So if you think about sports programs starting from, even preschool, mm-hmm. particularly for girls, what do you see as the important work to be done to get to that equitable level at the college age and beyond?
I'm not sure. I think that's hard because if we think about money, what funds a lot, the money makers typically are traditionally male sports. Mm-hmm. So
football,
basketball. There's some schools that the women's basketball teams make, as much money as the men's. But so I think just that in and of itself creates a lot of difficulty in terms of achieving that parity. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure. I think that's a difficult thing to figure out. I think one of the things that I do a lot of work about is making sure that girls stay involved in sport.
Right.
So getting them involved at a young age and encouraging them to remain involved in sports. So typically girls will drop out at around 11 or 12, 13. Mm. And we know if they drop out at that age, that there's a lot of benefits that they miss out on.
Right.
So encouraging parents to make sure that their girls are finding something that they enjoy, and we know that those are the ones who are going to be lifelong learners. So
well, let's drop some more knowledge. Research supports that girls who play high school sports are more likely than non-athletes to complete college. Mm-hmm. So it is important to get kids, girls, into athletics. But we also should say that all the way through college and beyond, you don't have to be a varsity athlete to benefit mm-hmm. from sports. I mean, there are a lot of ways to be in a club, mm-hmm. be in intramurals, just to have a buddy that you play tennis with.
And again, I think a lot of times, especially if students feel like I'm not going to play at that level, then does it really matter if I continue to stay involved? Mm-hmm. And we know that there are just benefits from exercising in general. We know that the camaraderie that gets built, intramural sports, particularly if you think about college level, or just even folks that friends that you can go out for a run with, something that really helps to encourage just movement and exercise and continued exercise. Mm-hmm. I think you still get some of those benefits.
Mm-hmm. Great. So, Nyaka, speaking of sports, I'm going to ask you to be a really good sport and play a game here. Okay. We like to play games in the Mind Matters program. And the game we're going to play here is sci-fi for kindergartners. So, I've got a question for you that's been kindergarten approved.
Okay. Hopefully I'll get this one right.
In the movies and television series Star Trek, the crew flies around in a ship in outer space. What is the name of their ship? Starts with an E. Is it, I'll make it multiple choice, is it the endeavor, the enterprise, or the excellence?
The enterprise.
Yes, way to go. You got the kindergarten approved sci-fi question correct. Thanks a lot, Nyaka, for being here. Really important topic. I am Dr. Craig Pohlman for Mind Matters, where we are saving the world one student athlete at a time.